All right, so in this video, I'm going to walk you through a framework for how to model your agency. Think of it like an operating system. Like this is the way that you set up your agency, so that way you attract leads, you close them for top dollar, you sell them all of your services, and you build lots and lots of recurring revenue. Like this is the foundation by which every agency should run. And I'm going to draw out a framework so you can kind of see how it works and the things that you can deploy inside of your business as well. All right, so let's start with the number one thing I think every business, every agency needs is a lake. Okay, so what is the lake? The lake is all of the people that is in your customer database. Like, so these are your customers, these are your prospects, these are people that you know, other contacts, and all this stuff lives in your CRM. CRM. All right, and we fill this lake. We could fill it with webinars. We might run Facebook ads. Maybe we run lead magnets. We participate in groups. We go into real life groups like BNI. Like there's all sorts of ways to fill this lake. And ultimately, the most valuable thing a business will ever have is its list of contacts, customers, and the people that they can sell to. Businesses that are undervalued don't have these things. So you want to have a lake, because this lake is where we're going to fish into to create more and more opportunities for our businesses. All right. So once we have this lake, what do we do with it? Well, we need to nurture it, right? We need to actually talk to these people, right? And the thing that most people do is they make the first mistake is they don't have a lake, right? They don't have this lake, and then they don't even talk to the people that know them. And so we talk to them, we can run webinars, we can send emails. This is ultimately, our opportunity, social posts. This is our opportunity to actually kind of convince the people who are sitting here, educate them about what you do, so that way they raise their hand and ask you for help, right? And so we always want to, number one, be growing our lake, and number two, we always want to be nurturing these people, because this is what helps us build a machine that's producing leads and opportunities, right? Once we have that nurture, what we want to do with that nurture at some point is make an offer. And in our agency, the main offer that we open up to our lake, especially people that don't know us so well, is reviews. So we offer to help our clients with their online reputation. It's an easy foot in the door. It's relatively inexpensive, small commitment. But the thing is, it delivers really quick results. So, we look for a small commitment here, but results, we want them to be super awesome, right? So this model here is enough to run $1 million business on. You fill your lake, you nurture them, and you sell reviews. You repeat this 1, 2, 3 over and over and over again, okay? Now, this is something that I see a lot of people in our Review Pro Launchpad group build successful businesses just from this, but the ones that really are building amazing businesses move on to this next step, right? So in about 30 days, after we enroll somebody into reviews, we then want to schedule them for what we call a playbook. So we call them rebook for playbook. Now, don't get caught up on the terminology here. Playbook is just a fancy word for us for proposal, right? And the very first step we do is what we call an initial discussion, or an ID. So we interview the client, say, hey, how are things going? Where else would you like some help? What things are challenging your business? And ultimately, we then move to a playbook and give them a proposal and make them an offer, okay? And most of what happens inside of this playbook is other recurring services, right? So these are things like, Facebook ads. These are things like pay-per-click, SEO, could be websites, all sorts of other things, right? And this is where we get to start to build and stack lots of contracts with our clients. All right, so let me just kind of recap where we're at so far. So we're building our lake. We're always filling this with new opportunities. We're nurturing and talking to these people again and again. Eventually, we make some offers. Some of them raise their hands. We sell them review and reputation management, which gives them a low investment to make and a quick win. and we see about 30 days later, we then rebook them for another opportunity to talk with them. We have an initial discussion to find out how things are going, interview them, see what their pains are, and then ultimately we meet with them again to have a playbook and sell them these recurring services. Awesome, right? So we repeat this process over and over and over again, right? Now, here's what happens is that some agencies will be so good at this that they get really sad. Let's draw a sad face here. They get really sad. Oh, why? Why do they get sad? Because they're so good at this that they end up burying themselves in a bunch of work. Yes, there's cash and money, but they end up burying themselves in a lot of new client projects. So what stops happening? Well, because they're so focused on this stuff here, well, they start to neglect their lake. They stop nurturing. They stop selling reviews. They stop booking playbooks, and all of a sudden, their business comes to a grinding halt, right? And so that's why what we have to do at this stage is we need to make sure there's a pathway for actually getting this work done. And so what we do is we deploy the leverage service model. So these are strategic partners that can actually offer the stuff we sell here. They can actually help us deliver on the nuts and bolts of this thing, right? So if we sell a pay-per-click ad campaign, well, we have a leverage service partner that can actually help us deliver, set up the ads, come up with the creative, do all the administrative work of the project, right? And so we give that to the leverage service partner, and they deliver, and wow, so now we're happy, right? Yay. And then somewhere that's 30 to 180 days later, we then rebook them for a playbook. So I want you to see how this is what's happening here. All right. So we've just sold them, let's say, Facebook ads, right? We then delivered this with our leverage service partner. And then somewhere between 30 and 180 days later, we rebook them for this process to sell them the next thing. So now they start with Facebook ads, right? And then maybe we want to add on pay-per-click, or we want to add on a website, or we want to add on SEO or whatever else. So let's zoom out again, right? So we're filling our lake with new opportunities all the time. Some of these leads are amazing. Some of them are going to take some time to kind of grow up, right? And that's the purpose of Nurture, is we're helping these leads learn more about us. We're educating them about the things that we do. We're starting to get known by them for helping increase customer activity. We then ultimately make offers. We sell them something easy for them to say yes to, something they all need, and gets them a quick win and low investment, relatively speaking. We show them that win within 30 days. We book them for a playbook. We give an ID, and then we propose the recurring stuff. They say yes. We outsource it to our leverage service model and the service partners, and then we repeat this process over and over again. So what ends up happening is, maybe the first time through, here, let me erase this here. So maybe the first time through, we get one project, right? And then the second time through, we get another one. And then the third time through, we end up selling more. So the idea is that with one client, with this one lead that starts up here, we are ultimately stacking the services that we take someone that maybe is only investing a couple $100s a month in services, but then we end up growing that contract again and again because we're providing great work. They're happy, we're happy, and all this is really good, right? And so what's cool is, we can start to figure out, how we can use Nurture to fill this to really fill up this whole thing. So as an example, right? So we have our lake here, we're nurturing and giving offers, but this Nurture can also be pointing people this direction, right? So let's not forget that, as we start to add on more services, these offers can happen in lots of different places, right? And the thing is that when we deploy a system like this, we have, leads always coming into our agency. We have Nurture emails, lots of social posts, things that are helping our videos, things that are helping our clients get to know what we're all about. And we make offers, they come in for a playbook, and kind of go through this whole process. So this is the way, right? Now, if you're just getting started, what I'd recommend is, you've got to have, at a very minimum, this piece here. You've got to have the ability to build your lake and start nurturing them. And one of the first things you might decide to offer is this review piece, right? So think about your agency. If it's just getting started, you want to build a lake, you want to nurture them, 1, build a lake, 2, nurture them, 3, offer them something easy to say yes to that creates money in your pocket, and gets them a quick win. When you're ready, and if you offer other services like Facebook ads or SEO or pay-per-click or email marketing or any of those kind of things, then you can add those things on and start to make a recommendation. The problem is most people, here's what they try to do, right? This is what most people try to do. They will build their lake here, right? And then they'll just go straight to this part. They'll say, hey, you're in my lake. You're a business owner. You need Facebook ads. And you know what? This never happens. I mean, rarely, right? And those people get really frustrated. And you want to know what happens then? They cancel, they stop running their Facebook ads. They're like, oh, Facebook ads don't work. They stop creating lead magnets. They're like, lead magnets don't work. They don't do webinars. They don't participate in groups. They don't go to BNI. They're like, none of those things work because it doesn't generate customers. Well, you know what? The mistake that they're making is they're thinking that those leads and customers are ready to jump right to the most highest investment, maybe riskiest services that you offer. And so what we've got to do is understand that if your Facebook ads haven't worked, if your webinars haven't worked, if any of the marketing or lead generation you've done for yourself hasn't worked, I'll bet it's because you're not nurturing anybody, right? And then you're not making an offer that's easy for them to say yes to, where they can start to build trust. Right? This piece is so critical because once this lead passes the test of each of these things here, they're going to be a customer for life. And they're going to be ready for some of your high ticket recurring stuff. Now, is it true that there's some leads that come in and are ready for this stuff? 100%. That does happen. But most of the time, that's going to be the hardest sell. And this is about creating a machine that generates leads, that generates a continual growth. Then you have to build something that's sustainable and hoping for those one-off shots of people who are just coming into your world and they're like, oh my gosh, I love you, you're great. Let's do like everything. Like that does happen, but it doesn't happen as often. So that's my point. This is what you got to deploy and make this thing happen over and over and over again in your agency. If you think this is cool, I've got lots more training on this. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check for links in the description. We've got more stuff for you that goes deeper into each one of these sections here. So thanks for watching.